Welcome to Golden Hardcore, a challenge series where we are exploring through the world of Tyria, doing everything we can to make as much gold as possible, while only having 2 remaining lives. Today I want to dive deep into a gold farm idea that is incredibly easy for you to take and cater to your own needs or wants, and that is building your own daily gold farm routine in Guild Wars 2. So let's get started. First, a quick look at this on a foundational level. Daily routines is a very common idea in Guild Wars 2 given the fact that so much content resets on a daily basis, meaning that many of the rewards you get in the game can only be obtained once a day. So doing that content to get those rewards daily will net you more and more gold as you do everything for more and more days. Additionally, MMOs are a game that a lot of people will spend a lot of time playing. Oftentimes, an MMO will be the only game that certain people will play while they are playing that MMO. So for those people, having a daily routine is something that makes sense if you are playing the game every day. But also on the other end of the spectrum, if you're not someone who plays Guild Wars 2 a lot or every day, having a daily routine can still be a good idea. If you want to play Guild Wars 2 but you don't really know what you want to do, you can just follow whatever routine you come up with to enjoy the game for a bit, kill some time, or find inspiration for what you want to do. Now ultimately, what your daily routine specifically is can really change a lot. Guild Wars 2 is a massive game with almost 14 years of content that has been added to it. There are a lot of different ways to make gold that you can choose from, and in fact, your daily routine doesn't necessarily have to entirely focus on making gold. It could be something like you do one meta event, then you do a couple PvP matches, and then when the time for a second meta event that you want to do rolls around, you can go do that. Of course, you will earn a little bit of gold while doing PvP, but typically playing PvP would just be something you are doing for fun. To some extent, coming up with a specific daily routine requires some personal experience and opinions. If you are brand new to the game and don't really know what content exists, you don't really know what to pick or where to go to do anything, and you have to learn the basics first. Similarly, if you haven't experienced a ton of the game yet, you don't really know what you like. Maybe there's a specific gold farm that a lot of people recommend. You may end up not enjoying that gold farm, so it is less worthwhile for you to spend your time doing. So playing through the game, learning how to play, learning what exists, and learning what you like to do are some basic fundamental ideas that you should consider doing before diving into this idea. Now let's look at trying to design a daily routine. First and foremost, given the fact that so much of Guild Wars 2 revolves around timers, what your routine looks like depends on what time of day you are playing. If you are only playing in the mornings or at reset or late in the evening, the specific events that are available to you is going to be a little different if you only play at a rigid time. Additionally, how long you have to play is also going to factor into this. A 1 hour time period is going to have a ton of stuff available for you, but significantly less available to you than a 3 hour time period. Historically for me, and also what is most popular within the community, is to do a daily routine specifically at reset. Reset is right when everything is going to, obviously, reset, so everything is available to you to be completed for the first time of the day, meaning anything you do is going to net you extra rewards. When the server resets may be an incredibly convenient time for you, as it may be after dinner and before bed, which is often a good time for many people. Likewise, it could be in the middle of your sleeping time, which is not quite as convenient. But since I enjoy playing at reset for a little bit, and since that is the most popular idea within the community, I want to specifically take a look at building a routine around reset in a moment. The number one tool that is available to you for figuring out what you want to do is going to be the event timers page on the Guild Wars 2 wiki. This is a full list of all major events that are on a timer and when those events will be happening. I've highlighted a variety of stuff that you can find on this page already in this series, and I hopefully will continue doing so should we not lose all of our lives too quickly. Looking at what is going to be going on at reset of the time of day that you want to be playing is going to be super helpful for you to figure out what you want to do. Keep in mind that if you are in a time zone that observes daylight savings time, all of these events are going to start an hour earlier or later throughout the year. For example, as I live in the Pacific time zone, reset and events like Torquato the Sunless are currently at 5 p.m. for me, but are sometimes at 4 p.m. So if you don't want to shift what time of day you're playing, having 2 different routines throughout the year is going to be something that you have to do. And also keep in mind with the event timers page that all of these are the strict rigid times for activities that have those strict rigid times. There is so much other content like Reba farming, which I highlighted in my last video, that don't have strict timings and can be done whenever, so you can slot them in whenever. Again, what your daily routine looks like ultimately depends on what you specifically want to do when you specifically want to play. Now, let's dive into a couple of examples, a historical one that I have done a lot and a newer one that I wanted to create specifically for this challenge and how my life currently is. Ultimately, there are practically an infinite amount of routines that you can do, and many people will have many different variations depending on how much they want to optimize the game or through any number of different factors. A historical one that I used to do a lot, especially with my old guild friends, starts technically right before reset as you want to head to Sparkfly Fen to fight Tequata the Sunless. Afterwards, you head to Timberline Falls and farm a few different materials around the map until the Leyline Anomaly spawns and you kill that. Then you head to Tangle Depths and fight Chalk Garrett. Some people would go off and do other things while waiting for the wall to be destroyed, but I would often take time to kill the treasure mushroom, work on dailies, harvest things around the map, open chests, or just take a simple break. After the Chalk Garrett looting phase, you then head to Orc Basin to fight the Octavine. Typically, you would take a short break or work on other stuff while waiting for the event to begin, and then do the full looting phase after the event ends. Then finally, after Octavine, going to the Eye of the North to defeat Dragon Storm. After that, you just move on to doing whatever you want, like finishing your dailies, doing raids, doing some PvP, or whatever else you want to do until you log off. Ultimately, this hits a ton of high profile events that can give you a lot of gold, is pretty casual with sometimes to take a break while playing if you need to do anything else in-game or in real life, and is pretty fun with a wide variety of engaging activities. Plus, there is something special about these activities because they are so popular, and if you do them day after day, you can begin to recognize certain people. But moving on, let's build up a new idea. It depends on the day, but I currently generally have around 1 hour to slightly less than 1 hour at reset to play the game if I set my mind to it, meaning that everything that I want to do needs to be contained within that time frame. Additionally, since the goal of this series is to make a lot of gold, I want to spend most of that time making gold with minimal downtime. But on top of all that, I want to make sure I progress my daily and weekly as I play this to complete those, which obviously will give me some gold, but that income might not be recognizable in the moment. So with all that in mind, what can we do? Well, I'll start my routine right at reset as the new Wizards Vault daily objectives come in. I will quickly glance at them to see what I need to do, while also glancing at the weeklies to see what I need to do for them. Fortunately, most objectives are going to double dip with many of the activities we will be doing next, like killing mobs or completing events, so I don't always have to spend a lot of time specifically focusing on them. This would also be a good time to work on any festival dailies that you may want to do, should a festival be live. But right after reset, I'll take some time doing anything I feel like I need to do to progress until 10 minutes after reset. If there isn't anything that I really need to do, or if I complete everything with time to spare, I want to do a little bit of node gathering to kill the time until the 10-minute mark. My favorite spots to hit are the ones I've talked about in Brisbane Wildlands, as well as Timberline Falls, where I can just gather resources and maybe kill a Moa or two and hope for a slab of poultry meat. As the 10-minute mark approaches, I want to hit my first timed event, the Wyvern Matriarch, the night boss in Verdant Brink that will give us an amalgamated gemstone to sell. This event is pretty quick to get into, pretty easy to do, and gives a nice reward, so it feels very worthwhile and easy to slot in. The Wyvern Matriarch only takes a couple of minutes, and another event that starts at the same time is the Effigy in Grothmar Valley. This one takes a little bit longer to complete, so you can often join in a little bit late. You just have to waypoint straight from Wyvern Matriarch to Grothmar Valley and then run over there. If you happen to join a map that doesn't have people, you will want to check LFG to join a map that does. Once the Effigy is defeated, it is almost the 20-minute mark, which means it will be time to head to Timberline Falls to fight the Leyline Anomaly. Typically, you should have a little bit of time between the Effigy and the Leyline Anomaly, so with whatever time is available, I like to run just north of Golden Light Hollow and gather all the materials around here. Once the Leyline Anomaly spawns, this is another quick fight that doesn't take too much time, but is obviously always nice to do for the Mystic Coin. Afterwards, it will be 7 to 8 minutes until the 30-minute mark, which is when the Chalk Garrett will spawn. You could try to fit something more meaningful into here, but I prefer to just go straight to Tangle Depths and make sure I get into a map instance. Once I do, and once I pick a lane, I normally will have a few minutes until the Chalk Garrett spawns, which I can use to run around the map, gathering random nodes, opening chests, or trying to do something to progress my daily and weekly if still needed. Alternatively, I could just sit for a moment, clear my inventory, and sell some stuff on the trading post. As the Chalk Garrett spawns, it is always a pretty easy boss to kill. Normally, the entire fight is over in one round. Additionally, there's a massive looting phase that you will have to wait for, but for me, I just want to grab my amalgamated gemstone and run. leaving behind the few extra chests because they're good, but nothing super worthwhile. An event that starts at the 38-minute mark soon after Chalk Garrant is Doomlore Shrine back in Grothmar Valley. This gives a bit of a nice buffer if Chalk Garrant happens to go long. And if Chalk Garrant doesn't go long, this gives you a few minutes to run around Grothmar Valley to gather some resources or do any number of different things. Grothmar Valley is also a map that is full of achievements, some of which are pretty grindy. So if you are an achievement hunter, you can chip away at them just for fun. But once Doomlore Shrine starts, it is a bit of a longer meta compared to some of the other stuff we have done, but doesn't take too long. As Doomlore Shrine wraps up, if I am pressed for time in real life, I would end my routine here, but if I have some extra time, I'll head over to Auric Basin to join a map for the Octavine. The Octavine starts at the 1 hour mark, so there's definitely some downtime here where you could try to squeeze something in, but mostly just going to Auric Basin and being in the map is what I prefer to do. And with any downtime between Doomlore and Octavine, I can continue doing all the different filler things I have talked about before. As Octavine begins, it only takes about 3 minutes for the boss to die, and then you can begin the entire looting phase that takes about 4 to 5 minutes depending on how speedy you are. If you are super pressed for time, getting at least the biggest chest is the most worthwhile, but opening everything is always a good option. Upon opening the chests, that is when I call this specific routine good, and this is when I would log off the game until later in the evening. If you want to continue playing from this point, doing Dragonstorm is one of the most popular options. A lot of people like to do some raids after Dragonstorm, while others like to go kill the Death-branded Shatter, and then from there, just continuing with whatever events you want to do or other activities that you want to do as things are available. So, to summarize, starting at reset, I will do some random things I need to do until Reverend Matriarch at the 10-minute mark, do the effigy in Grothmar Valley, harvest some materials in Timberline Falls until killing the Leyline Anomaly, do some cleanup and random stuff in Tangle Depths until Chalk Garrant, do Doomlore Shrine in Grothmar Valley, do some cleanup and random stuff in Auric Basin until Octavine, and then loot all the chests after Octavine. But of course, just how much gold can we get? I cleared my trading post before doing a run and went through everything and sold everything that I got. Picking up gold from the trading post, I got 13 gold, 48 silver, and 22 copper, plus I just got over 1 gold from selling trash and the 1 gold from completing my daily, meaning in about 70 minutes of doing some casual daily activities, I got about 15.5 gold. On top of that, I also happened to complete all my dailies as well as my weekly Wizards Vault objective, giving me a ton of Astral Claim that can go towards gold, which I won't include in this specific total since that is a special bonus for this specific idea. But with everything collected in this episode, our new grand total is 618 gold, 22 silver, and 77 copper. And of course, we still only have 1 death with 2 lives remaining, and we have now played this character for 31 hours and 10 minutes. And that's the video. I hope you enjoyed. Having a daily routine to make gold can definitely be a great idea for some people, especially for those who have the time to spare. Please share your own daily routine down in the comments for other people to see even more examples. I hope you all are taking great care of yourselves. Have a good one, everyone.